Welcome to another quick unboxing review. I'm in the middle of a move, so I had to make a makeshift studio here. My daughter's moving away, so it's giving me a chance to remodel the living room for my wife. The toys have taken over the living room, and I'm trying to do my best to make my wife happy. But at the same time, I just received my pre-order. So let's quickly get started on this, because I gotta get back to moving furniture. I hate this, but I do love that they actually put the picture of the figure. There's other packagings of these classifieds where all they show is the art all over the place and not the actual figure that you're purchasing. The art is fantastic, but I want to see the figure. And alright, yeah, the plastic-free packaging, whatever, I don't care. I want to see what I'm purchasing. Something that I gotta point out for the diorama is the bike. Is that a little nod to the PSA that involved Shipwreck? Because this doesn't look like it should have a bike in the background. It tells us his accessories that are inside. You got Shipwreck on the sides. I gotta scan that in a little bit. Scanned it, big old waste of time. It would have been a great idea if you scanned it and it took you to an online file card, something that this box is sorely missing. And on the back, it tells us just how tall the figure is, which I don't really care. Tell us something about Shipwreck. Thankfully, Hasbro is going back to the windows on the packaging. Oh, and there's the figure. And here's this tackle box, which is pretty neat. And inside the tackle box, all his accessories all wrapped up in a plastic bag. How'd I get this thing open? There you go. Like a bag of chips. Hey, Polly. Look at that. It's a tribble. And there we go. And now that he's out of the packaging, let's smell him.
Let me whisper a secret.
He smells really nice. And taking a look at him all the way around, man, he looks pretty badass. He looks cool. Shipwreck is my favorite Joe. It has a lot to do with his first name being Hector. He's always been my favorite as a kid, ever since I bought the original Shipwreck when I was a kid. And we'll see just how cool he looks with his accessories on. And check him out just like this. Now this isn't probably the way Hasbro intended him to be displayed, especially with his rope, but this is the way I have my Shipwreck displayed. Although the colors are a little different, man, this is what I was waiting for classifieds to become. Super upgraded looks on the originals that we loved as kids. Well, he's got the chest hair, he's got 2 tattoos, we'll look at that right now, but everything's just an updated look. That's what we wanted. We didn't want futuristic looking Joes. That's why the G.I. Joe movie failed. So I'm gonna switch out the hairpiece. His hat, his sailor's hat, just comes right off. And now that looks really bad, but of course that's not how it stays. But I like how it's sculpted so that it grips the hairpiece real nice. And you won't have any mishaps with that hairpiece. Really don't like how it looks like this. His head is very bushy. It doesn't look like he's been wearing a hat. And having him this way, he doesn't look half bad. He looks... well, that's not good.
I'm recording.
Oh, you're recording. Not good as open.
But I think he'll look a lot better once I put his hat back on him. Now he looks pretty darn badass. Like I said, this is just a super upgraded look to the originals that we played with, we fell in love with, we sometimes took care of, but we had so much fun with. All right, let's take a quick look at the smaller details. So Polly, I feel pretty bad for him because they sculpted him only having 1 foot and then a peg leg. But the sculpting of this bird is really nice. I wish they would have maybe given us an extra Polly. Instead of giving us this big old rope, give us a real rope that he could wrap around with and give us a sculpted Polly with its wings stretched out. And now his gun, great detail on it. I mean, superb detail on it. You don't know what this kind of pistol is called. The only reason I know it's what it's called is because I got the original packaging right here, and it's called a percussion pistol. Next up is his boarding hook. Again, only reason I know what it's called is because of the original packaging. And this would be his 3/8 inch line. Too bad it's not a real rope like what the original Shipwreck came with, which is something you could play with. It's not a long rope, but at least it's something to play with. Then finally, the actual action figure. His belt looks pretty nice. Slopes a little down because it's connected on one side here, and then his holster on his hip here, that's pretty cool. So it's an empty holster just like the original. And so it'd probably go that way. He's got all kinds of articulation. He's got the butterfly, he's got the G.I. Joe swivel arm, elbow, head, neck, abs, hip, thigh, double jointed knees, but he doesn't have the toe. But I don't care. This is more than enough. His face likeness is pretty nice, especially compared to that Shipwreck right there. That looks really great. And I'm gonna see if I can actually display them that way. Before I forget, let's talk about these tattoos. He's got a shark tattoo here, and then he's got his anchor tattoo on one side. Now the toy actually has an anchor in like a fish tattoo on his right arm, but the cartoon has a tattoo on his left arm. This is kind of nice. They gave us both. And if you want to, maybe you can try and take one of the tattoos off, whichever you want, but I'm happy with him having both tattoos on there. I've had to use a lot of putty, but I think I got it. My final thoughts on this figure, it's a little biased, as like I've mentioned, this is my favorite G.I. Joe, and I am super happy, super pleased with what I got. There could have been a little more, like, well, the packaging is stupid. Give us some file cards, give us something to like read over and over as we did as a kid. This box has some cool toy photography, but there's other guys on Instagram and Twitter doing equally great job at this, and heck, I could probably do it myself. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you thought. Let me know which figures you pre-ordered, because this is the only one I pre-ordered.
Don't tell mommy what I told you.
I believe I knew your mother, son.
You know my mom?
Would your name happen to be Johnny Gilligan?
Yeah.
What's it been, 13 years?
What?
14? My lord, it's like I'm looking in a mirror. Does your mother still hang out at dockside bars?
Dockside bar?
Johnny, do you play baseball?
I really do hope you enjoyed this, and I really appreciate your support. Don't send me any money. I don't have any Patreon. If you could, please, just hit that like, hit that subscribe, and maybe share. If you can check out, maybe click this video, or maybe even click whatever that is right here. What is that? How did it get here? Bye!